Right then, onto a vlog that could have been better than it is really. It's turned into a bit of a pain. So this is 318D. Did a bit of a deal with one of the lads who used to work here. He did a swap, he ended up with our 135D, which is 1 series coupe with a 335D engine in, which I'll put a picture up, but we'll probably end up doing a video on that at some point if we get it back here. But it was probably a swap that worked out in his favour as it transpires, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So this is a 318, so it's the same 4-cylinder N47 engine that's in the 320Ds, but there are some subtle differences. They've got a slightly different turbo, but there's about 4 different turbos that can be on 320Ds. But the main difference being these injectors. So these are a solenoid type injector rather than the piezo. So these are just at this sort of time, and I think even now, generally the more mass-produced, cheaper to produce, sort of less horsepower engines generally get the solenoid injectors. It's kind of changing a little bit now. The solenoids are getting as powerful as the piezos, are also able to take the same pressures and stuff like that. But anyway, they're normally on the cheaper engines. It's same with the 525Ds. They had the same engine as the 330s, but they've got the solenoid injectors. So in theory, the upgrades for these, because this will be probably all out of puff at 230 horsepower maybe, we'd have to see. The upgrade for these then would be the 535D injectors, the earlier 535Ds, which they're pretty big. But we have got an upgrade that are a little bit bigger than them, and they'll take more pressure, so they'll deliver more fuel at the higher pressures. So we're going to list that on the website. That should be on there before this video comes out, but they're a drop-in and they'll do 2100 bar, whereas these will only go to 1750 or something like that. I don't like running much more. What the bloody hell's going on there? I don't know what's happening here. I decided to power it set up, even though I don't even think keys in. So anyway, we got this as a standard car. I think the DPF has been chopped out or whatever it was already, but that didn't really matter because this was going to be the mule to do the turbo kit on. Because we get a lot of people asking, we've got the N47 turbo kit already, which we've not sold many of them. Everybody seems to want the N ones. But as it transpired, in the notes that I'd made to do this vlog when we first got this car, I wanted to talk about the timing chains on these, which are notorious for rattling and I don't know how well known they are for braking, but if you listen to this, you might have an idea what's going on. That does not sound healthy. So we're pretty sure this was just sat here idling, and we'll have a look at dyno in a minute, you'll see it weren't doing stupid power, but this was just sat here idling while we're just setting up a log to do the next run to figure out the problem that we're having, and it just died. So we're pretty sure, with sound of that, it sounds like when a cam belt comes off on Volkswagen engines or whatever, it's the timing chain, I'm pretty sure. So that's kind of put a little bit of sticking spokes on this job. We're not going to be able to do what we plan to do, so the idea was run it up standard, run it up tuned, put a bigger turbo on it, run it up till we run out of fuel, put bigger injectors in, and blah de blah. That's not worked out. What we have been able to do before we did this vlog, the standard boost pipe, which is here, which is rubbish, it kept popping off here. This clip was damaged somehow. So what we've decided to, which this is like similar to a Volkswagen type, so we've got these clips, but then this one that goes onto the anti-shudder valve is like a different style, so we had to get one made up. So as you can see, that's the clip that we've had made. That's on there quite nicely. And then we've made a fitting for the map sensor, and then the boost pipe all the way down to the intercooler. And then down there we've made another clip as well. So then that leads to one of our intercoolers, which we'll put a picture of what that looks like, if you can't really see it. but that's what it replaces. So it's quite a bit bigger, but they're absolutely rubbish BMWs for getting intercoolers in. Unless you want to chop def out of the front panel and then it just falls to bits, you're really stuck with these sort of intercoolers, which are not my favourite. They're quite heavy, they're quite bulky, but they do a job. They cool charge temps down, but we'd have liked to have left it all standard, but it weren't going to work with this car. Probably as soon as the car starts out being a pain, you should quit on it. But anyway, the other pipe's standard at the minute, but we're going to make a new one when we do the turbo kit. So we'll still probably use this to rip it to bits and do all the turbo related stuff. Hopefully we can salvage some parts from it and sell some stuff and get his money back. But it's not an ideal start to a project car. We've got a few plans what we're going to do with it, but we'll get another car. But if you look here, the 135 horsepower run is what it did standard, which I believe it's not too far off. I'd have to double check what this even should be. Once the engine died, I lost interest in doing my research before I did this vlog. But then the tune that were on there when we got it was similar to this, but we've refined it a little bit. But we gained 85 foot-pound of torque roughly. But then this little dip here is what we're trying to diagnose. Rail pressure were quite strong at this point, but we're getting some fault codes to do with fuel pump related stuff. And then when we logged the feed pressure to the high pressure pump, we're getting some problems, which these have got like a separate control module for the fuel pump control. So we think it's something to do with that, but it transpires, it doesn't matter now, don't really care, it's dead. But we can showcase some of the products we're creating. Hopefully by the time this one goes out we might have the turbo kit sorted and at least a listing there, but I'm not sure. If we aren't, it doesn't really matter, that'll be coming soon. But this is just to show this car we're driving, it's done 175 or whatever it is, the chains weren't rattling, we've not pushed it hard, we've not done anything weird, it was recently serviced. So it didn't have any signs that it's going to cause any problems. So the sort of idea of filming this is just to say, you could drive your car to us, we could put it onto our dyno, we could run it up with whatever tune you've got on there, run it up standard, do whatever, and then we not do anything weird, and the chain just die. Hopefully people have got a little bit of something out of this one. You'll probably not see this car again. Hopefully there's a nice shiny replacement comes along that'll do what we need it to do and be able to create all the products we want to do and sort of start the vlog from the beginning and work us all the way to the top. It is what it is. Hopefully it's been interesting. Hopefully there's a bit of consumer advice here. If you've not already bought one of these, I'd probably just avoid it. I prefer the M engine, the earlier engine, but they still have the problems as well. So you've got to take what you can and make your own decision and live with it. So thanks for watching. So this video, just talking about what we've been doing the last couple of days on this car. Obviously it's blown up, so we can't actually test this stuff out, but we know what it'll all do. It's all tried and tested components anyway. But if you look here, we've managed to, which we had this on earlier, the intercooler's always been on this because it were all knackered before. We've managed to get the boost pipe sorted. Some of you might be able to see that is a 3 litre BMW turbo. So I thought I might as well do this video upside down back to front so you can see the nice stuff underneath first, and then we'll have a look from the top. The downpipe's not fully welded yet because we just need to be sure that this aftermarket exhaust is the same length as the standard one, so we've got to do a few measurements. You can see 3-inch downpipe, one of our nice flexes on there as well. So we'll drop it down and we'll have a look what we've got going on at top. So this is where all the nice stuff is. That's what I do like about the BMW engines compared to the Volkswagens. You can see all the expensive, tasty manifolds, but this, in essence, this kit's going to be a full setup with everything you could possibly need to bolt this 3 litre turbo straight onto your 2 litre engine. Fitted properly, so it's not going to be touching stuff like a few people chop and weld the manifolds and that don't quite fit. But the turbo's going to be clocked and orientated and flow tested exactly how it needs to be. So hopefully we sell as many of these kits as we get asked for. It took a fair while to come out with it, but this should fit absolutely mint and get decent power. The 2260 should do 300 horsepower, and the 28, which will fit in this exact same position if we orientate it how we want it, that should do 400 horsepower or so. Whether you can get the fuel to cope with that, that's another thing, but we'll have to get a customer's car in, get this fitted, and then we'll go through the process of finding out where all the limits are for everything, because these are obviously the solenoid injectors, the 320D or the 120Ds that have the piezo injectors that you can easily get upgrades for. But we do upgrades for them. But in the notes there'll be links to everything. In the comments as well there'll be a link to all the products that we've got. And yeah, hopefully we get a chance to get this ripped apart in the next day or so and get it all stripped down when Dan stops faffing about. So yeah, cheers.